She likes
And
D10s.
we are live.
A kitty of class, I see.
We talking? We
Yeah,
talking
she has a
about
tank class with all the D10 she steals.
we say we talking about cats stealing dice.
Yes, Nadja prefers D10s, which means she's obviously a fighter class of some breed.
Yep.
Just before we talked about how we'll never give up dairy. Ever.
I'll die first. It
how
might be
much
the
it
same
will-
cause.
I don't care how
Which-
intolerant to it I get. I am not giving it up.
It may be the cause, but at least it'll be a good death.
Exactly.
I'll die with a full belly and a smile on
As
my
we're
face.
talking about not giving up dairy and we're eating mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I
Case
thought
in
you were
point.
eating egg rolls. Oh, you're better.
Oh, so how are all of you?
Rojan, I have a dilemma.
Surviving.
Uh-oh.
Feeling less frantic now.
A
I have
dilemma.
two dilemmas.
Two dilemmas.
Settling on my subclass for Saturday's game, as well as what character dice are. There's too many pretty character dice. What do I choose? Oh,
That sounds
first world
like
problems.
to be an enabler, that just sounds like you need to get another set of dice for this specific character.
You
Yeah.
know what? You twisted
really
my
does.
arm enough. I'm gonna have to.
I
Opening up
am
Kraken.
looking at Kraken right now for my Saturday character.
I haven't started that yet, but I will probably be following suit.
So yeah, so Saturday is almost most definitely the day that we will play on the 16th.
Oh,
So,
perfect! Yay!
Nice.
unless things change again, as they sometimes do.
Yeah.
But until we hear otherwise, plan on the 16th being the next. Well, I should say the first episode of with Withered Waste Southern Frontier. This is a working.
It came out with s'mores dice. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh,
They're pretty, aren't they?
Don't
s'mores
chew on the dice.
Oh, I already have like
Can't stop
Neapolitan
me.
dice. I have cotton candy dice, root beer dice. Oh,
Tell me what to do.
can't stop. Rojan. Normal life.
You're not my supervisor.
You're not my supervisor. Yeah,
Fine,
I'm gonna have
eat the
to get these
dice.
s'mores. I'm gonna have to get these s'mores. Yeah, it's settled.
Oh, Zara, you're gonna fight me.
$30. Yeah, let's do it.
So
I would, but I have
Going to fight
daycare ate
you.
all my money.
New dice for Mia as well. I mean, glow up, right? It's basically like
Yeah.
a new character.
That's very
Yeah,
true.
me go up dice.
I mean, to be fair,
So-
Raven, Zorro will fight me because I'm the one who sent you the information after the character cards were made.
That's fair. That's fair.
Look, all I have to do is change it, name
It's-
it the
it's-
exact
it-
same thing.
It's only an AC increase.
It's fine. Done.
I can do this live. All you have to do is save it, Rojan, and it automatically updates
Yep.
on screen.
And I will
Do this.
I will do that during break.
Okay.
But yeah. So
Did I ballpark close?
what's that?
Oh, no. I was just wondering, did I ballpark close? Yes, I did.
Wait, did
So-
I send you the card that he's? Okay, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
I had to make sure that everything was set up correctly before we went live. Then I last
okay.
minute I remember I didn't update some people's tokens. So
Oopsie.
I had to go in and do that. But all tokens and everything should be good now. Fingers crossed. But exactly. Just the yelling. But yeah, so as we're picking up today, before we start, is there any questions anybody had that could be taken care of before we start?
The information from my 1-year time skip essay that I sent you.
I am going to cover that in your portion.
Okay. Just making sure. I'm like, I don't know what I was allowed to do. So it's a guessing game right now.
I'm looking for something.
Also sent you the card when you're ready. Also, holy shit, Raven.
I am
What?
never
Got some
ready.
ash levels there.
You know, I wish there was a search function here for me to find the music I need.
I mean, technically there is, but you have to kind of know certain words you're looking for instead of just like something similar to. Blah, 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 blah. Why I preset it up. It's just so much easier, and even then I lose it sometimes.
Yeah,
Can't rename them.
I need to go through and I just need to clean up the playlists. So it's been 1 year to the day that the kingdom of Odag was freed from the shadow and the torment of the pretender at the hands of your group. In this year, the kingdom has started to heal and prosper as the gods have begun to return to their rightful seats of power in the celestial realm. With the protection of 3 dominant gods, that being of Yamato, the Snow Mother, and Travala, the people of Odag have slowly but surely started to no longer fear the night as they were made to fear for 60 years. As you said your final goodbyes that 1 year ago, everyone set out for a bit of, well, some of you for some rest and relaxation, others continuing on with personal projects, settling old debts, or finally settling down into roles of responsibility. But as the life of a adventurer and, in your terms, heroes and would-be god slayers, peace doesn't last for all that long. That 1 year has come and gone. Or gone. Wow, that's a new word.
Y'all gonna come back now.
You're gonna go come back. Where I slip into a southern twang far too much, and I'm from California, and I've been to Texas once for 3 days.
That's all you need. Watch one movie of Harry Potter, and all of a sudden you're British. That's all it takes.
Going to Texas once is one too many times.
Whoa, sir. Whoa.
I say that as somebody that has been to Texas, so at least I've done it once.
That's fair.
98 degrees at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, no, you can just, no thank you. But upon this day, those of you who haven't retired necessarily from the life of the adventurer have received a letter of summons to meet back at the group estate. A important matter has come up that a delegate from the vampire royal family wishes your assistance with. The summons is signed by a familiar name, somebody who traveled with you near the end of your first adventure, and that is Kel.
How'd he get my number?
You know how.
He's sort of with your best friend.
God damn it. Need to forward this to a PO box.
But no matter your location, these letters do find you, stating that he will see you all, hopefully in good health, back at the estate. Though it wouldn't be much of a year away if we didn't all understand, or if we didn't all know what you've been up to. So I'm going to leave this up to a volunteer position at the moment, unless I need to voluntold someone. But who would like to be the first individual that shows up to the estate? Either via teleportation circle or the old way.
Not gonna lie, I feel like Chemic would not be the first in character. They'd be at their desk, waiting to the last absolute moment.
I mean, Yuriko will go first. I mean, she's had the least productive year, I think, of everyone, so she wouldn't mind getting off the road.
Okay. So Azrin, go ahead and tell us, or give everyone watching a bit of a rundown as to what Yuriko's been up for the last year.
Yuriko has been ceaselessly hunting the demon who killed her parents throughout the realms. Crime and then some. Always one step behind where he's supposed to be. Almost like he knows she's on his tail and he's purposely avoiding her, either to fuck with her or because he's scared she's gonna skin him. But that's been her year, an endless chase with no reward.
And are you entering the estate by teleportation circle, or are you coming through the front door?
Surprisingly enough, she is going to enter through a Piper portal.
Oh, okay. So as that familiar gateway opens up, Piper being considerate enough not to include the flames this time, as he knows it kind of makes Yuriko uneasy. You're able to step through into the very familiar bar of your rather impressive estate. You can already see that a spread has starting to be laid out with food and drink aplenty. Give me a second. Cat was knocking, exactly. And as you step through, Kel tries his best not to run you down. You know, just happy to see a friend finally coming home after a year-long expedition.
She's taken aback. She's not used to people invading her personal space.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm just happy to see you all. Well, happy to see you and hopefully everyone else.
I'm the first one.
Yeah.
Surprised.
Yeah, I kind of thought it'd be Mia. But yeah, I guess you're the first one here.
Oh, I had no reason to dawdle, so.
Still no luck with you know who.
None.
Well, I may have a lead for you on that one. Goes hand in hand with what I need to talk to you about today.
Interesting. Well, if it helps me get my hands on him, well, I don't mind helping out.
If it ain't him, it'll be his worshippers. Maybe
He has worshippers.
Unfortunately, the return of the gods also means the return of cults, and there are cults aplenty.
Well, that's fine. He can hide behind worshippers if he wants to. It's not going to stop me from rending his flesh.
Well, I wish you the best of luck on that. Once everyone gets here, I can, start making with spilling the information. Nolani couldn't make it, but she sends her regards. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Well, I wasn't too sure if she is going to make it, considering.
No,
I mean,
unfortunately, the responsibilities of a queen at the moment keep her busy. But we've got a replacement for her lined up. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't come through the same gate as you did.
Right?
Someone who also works with your uncle?
Yeah, you met her before when Milani was the weird bird thing.
Oh, the young lady with the dragon.
Yeah, Valiana. Yeah, she's volunteered to take on this task as favored Piper and another means to be able to stretch the legs.
Oh, I didn't see her in Piper's den, so I don't know what's keeping her.
Oh, when she gets here, she gets here. And it's at this time that a portal opens in the almost next to Yuriko, with the obvious hyper flare of the flames and everything like that. As Valiana, you sort of begin to step through. But as Milani is not going to be joining the group on this adventure, you should probably tell us what she's been up to for the past year.
I mean, she's really been working on establishing her kingdom. Working to kind of establish the Ashen Spire as the Glidus Kingdom. And, because Mia is so prone to death, her and Kel got married this year, Skip. Because they want Mia to officiate. As it was with her help that they got together.
Mia told them both to stop being dumb.
Yes.
Somebody had to do it.
Someone did.
But Val, you step through with Spike in tow, and you see both Kel and Yuriko in the already in the bar section of the estate. And almost instantly, as soon as the two of you make landfall in here, the portal shuts behind. Spike is just right next to Yuriko.
He's missed you quite a bit,
just kind of
Yuriko.
like looking up at you, and you could tell that he's trying to resist doing it, but you could just see the tip of his tail just like excitedly wagging.
I'm glad that I get a chance to work with you again.
Yes, it was much too short last time.
Well, I wish I'd have known you were coming. Didn't make any sense for Piper to open up 2 portals.
Well, I was on another job, so he had to open it from a different location.
If this dragon gets a hug before from Yuriko before Mia does.
Oh, it's so going to. So going to. Are you kidding?
Yeah, we're gonna have to work on teaching you some Draconic so you can speak with them yourself.
I know Draconic. I don't think I know.
I don't think you do, because you weren't able to speak to him before.
Oh, that's right.
He was able to understand what you.
was.
He was able to understand what you were saying, but at the same time, he couldn't speak to you.
That's right. That what is the points for a language clock?
Same thing as it is for a skill clock.
75?
No, 32.
No, 35.
35.
I think.
35 or
Something like
32. It's
that.
one of those.
Okay. And then I'll probably, when I get my expertise. Actually, can I have my expertise in athletics?
How many
It's like,
how many ticks were you away when the year break started?
So let's
How many
see.
points were you in, I should say?
So that's 4 and 6 is 10. It was 19 because we really didn't have a lot of spare time.
19. You know what? I'll give it to you because you've been on the hunt of a demon lord this entire year. So, your body has definitely gone through some rigorous, athletic training, as you've had to go to places that would put a massive strain on your body. So yeah, I would say at this time you would have athletics expertise.
Woohoo! Thank you very much. So now she's sporting her Ripley look under her kimono.
Was anyone else here yet, or is it just us?
So far, we're the early birds.
I suspect everyone else will be rolling in soon. Also, we're waiting on one other new guy coming along. Yeah, I reached out to Azure Claw, but he's happy up in his shop. So we got another individual from Snow Mother's ranks.
Oh. Well, that'll be interesting.
It most definitely should be. Okay, Raven. First off, give us what Azure Claw did in his year break.
In the year break, Azure Claw basically wrapped up everything here, and with the thankful help of a portal, was able to move all of his stuff to his workshop in I don't have that character sheet open. I can never remember the name of this place.
I can let you know. I've got the map. Give me a sec.
Snowmelt?
It's Snowmelt.
Snowmelt.
Snowmelt. There we go. So he officially now has a full jewel crafting, gem crafting shop set up in Snowmelt, and has been basically just whiling away time, honing his trade up in snowmelt, and finally getting paid.
And finally getting paid for that guard job.
It's been 84
There was a
years.
very long list of expenses that was handed in at that point in time.
The expenditure list was outrageous.
And hyper extended overtime.
Not to mention the amount of hazard pay.
Yeah, you left home to guard a statue and ended up fighting a god.
Yep, yeah.
So he has had a very quiet and productive year.
And as that quiet and productive year has sort of given him a sense to sort of stay home and run and own and operate his own business, another individual from the Snow Mother's growing ranks as she has ascended into full-on godhood approaches the estate, and with a heavy mailed hand raps on the front door.
Is Ollie still around?
Ollie's out at the minute. I send him out for more ale. Some of the barrels are running dry.
Well, I guess I'll let our guest in. Yuriko goes up to the door and opens it up.
And Raven, go ahead and explain what Yuriko runs into.
Well, the first question I have is, how tall is Yuriko?
Short.
Yeah, she's 5'5".
Okay. So Yuriko opens the door and is staring basically at the stomach and chest of a large cloaked figure standing in the doorway. And underneath the hood that is pulled forward, all you see is a pair of bright, blazing green eyes.
Nice eyes.
I was told to show up here.
Well, you got Kel's letter, I presume?
Something about heading north, and you needed assistance.
Well, this is the place. She's trying to see like what he is. Like, you know, she's like, she knows Scion was
An
Ilfid, and she's just like is he like, does he just have like, you know, the Strider, you know,
The only
the
indicator
Strider
you can
look?
see immediately is the hood of the cloak is very much hooked on some very pronounced points at the top of his head.
Oh, another Dragonborn.
There's another.
Well, he's a bit of a flake. Hopefully, you prove to be better company.
Poor Al.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I mean, he's kind of a flake in Yuriko's eyes.
He got called away on official business. That wasn't him like piecing out.
Yeah, potato.
I don't tend to spend a lot of time around the living, but
Necromancer?
I'm sorry, there's a necromancer?
No, I was asking if you were.
Oh, no. If you were asking if I hunt them, yes.
Hmm. I was under the impression that not all of them were raving maniacs with skeletal armies.
I'll let you know when I find one.
Well, come on in.
And he ducks as he comes through the door, very careful to not catch any of the hilts sticking out from behind his back.
Oh yeah, I forgot it. I forgot that feature about you.
Yup.
You're gonna have a tough time getting around in here in some places.
I have ways. And as he pulls the hood down, you are looking very much up at the face of a 6'10" dragonborn.
6'10". Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Black dragonborn, to be precise.
6'10",
he
that
should
is,
be able to-
that is the absolute edge of medium.
Yep.
You
And
guys should be able to move around just fine. I mean, Lonnie was 8 feet tall.
question, just out of character, genuine curiosity, unless it's a secret, it's straight up just the chromatic black. It's not like the obsidian. Like,
No,
jet
it is
dragon or
the
anything.
flat, acid black
Okay.
dragonborn.
Okay, because there's different kinds now, so I was just curious. Okay.
No, there is no shimmer. It's almost kind of like looking at a void most of the time.
So it's
Oh,
matte
please,
black.
please don't say void. We've met void dragons. They're not fun.
Yes, they are.
They're fun for the DM.
That sounds like some anti-void dragon rhetoric right there.
I'm just
It's almost like
saying.
you want to
Great.
summon one right now.
I resent that, sir.
I'm just saying. You know, when you have a quasar in your heart.
Oh, it's not even a quasar in the heart. You are just the quasar that's just decided to take one day. I'm gonna take a dragon form.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, oh, Jesus.
I'm feeling spicy today. Let's be a dragon.
Yeah, I want to be a dragon today.
Oh well, the bar's this way. The booze
Is
is being
there-
restocked.
Somewhere where I can set my blades.
I mean, well,
As
you
your
can
claw head
lay
like,
him.
fuck it.
Yeah, I know. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
mean-
umbrella stand.
I mean, you can leave him behind the bar, or I'm pretty sure we have a weapon stand somewhere that's not being used.
And he just casually reaches under the cloak and unclips a harness and just pulls a rack of 4 long swords off of his back. And sets them.
She's like looking for extra arms. It's just like,
And then
She's
promptly
like-
reaches under the cloak, pulls out one more, sets it on the rack, and sets the shield down.
And it's at this time, Yuriko, you could see on the shield that the insignia of that emblazoned snowflake, the symbol of the snow mother, is very prominent.
Oh. I have one of those. It's on my shoulder, though.
You work with the Snow Mother.
Supposedly, I'm a champion. At least that's what she calls me.
A tad short to be a champion, but okay.
Oh, well.
Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Like, she goes, I have one hell of a bite. And then she manifests her, like, great boomerang, and she just, like, and she drops it, and it's, like, as tall as she is.
A reasonable size.
She's like, I can make a little bit of noise if I need to.
Good. From what I've heard, we're going to need it.
And then she just pocket dimensions it again. And she just leads. What's your name, by the way?
Yes,
I
how do
hate
you
to be
pronounce your
rude.
name?
Yes, please. I don't even know when you sent it to me. I was like,
My name is
Thinking below me.
Castiglione. You can call me Cass if it helps.
Yes, Leone. Awesome.
Sounds a lot like Castle Rock.
Cassione sounds very impressive. I'll probably stick with Cass, and just because that just takes a while to say.
In battle, it's easier if you can yell something short.
True. And she just continues walking towards the bar with him, and but at this point she's probably behind the bar pouring herself a drink, like reaching for the good sake.
And
I think she's the only one that drinks it.
I'll just reach out and grab a bottle of something that looks reasonable. And as you're watching, you just see him shut his eyes for a moment and the bottle frosts over.
You just pulled a nice man.
Nice trick. Well, good thing I don't have to worry about it.
You're resistant to the effects?
Let's just say, being a champion of the Sun Mother has its privileges, especially in very cold environments. I don't really worry about it. I mean, this is what I wear all year round. And she does like a little pirouette in her kimono.
You might survive.
Which is like super fancy with her like, flags and shit and and her little frills.
Blow up art to come soon.
Yep.
And I'm just going to find a surface that looks sturdy and sit down on that.
Okay. And speaking of glow-ups, it's at this time that Mia, you find it time to make your way back home.
I think Mia probably travels back there the old-fashioned way, on foot, or I guess on the rail and then on foot.
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with taking the train.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't blow up on us again. We don't have a great track record. But she will make her way on foot, and she'll just stride right through the front door. Her pipe hanging out of her mouth, and she takes off her hat and hangs it on the nearest hook as she walks through, looking to see if anyone else is here.
And what has Mia been up to for the past year?
She's been up to a few things. Initially, after the battle, she took some time to travel to all the cities and towns of Odag to share with the public the story of what happened. She wanted to make sure that nothing was left out, nothing was sugar-coated. She wanted the people of Odag to know exactly what happened and who was responsible for fixing it, basically. And when I say who was responsible, I don't just mean us, but she made sure that the public knew, like Den Mother and Lisa and all these people were there to fix this problem. And after that was done, she stopped by Sinnoh's place to have a bit of a heart-to-heart with her. And then she went home to the Howling Forest. And for the remainder of the year, she basically stayed in that forest and lived her best Witch of the Woods life in there, going back to her roots and just spending her time, reading and brewing stuff and tending to gardens and foraging the woods and occasionally scaring off people that wandered a bit too close to home. And of course, studying as well. She finished reading all of the language books that she had been working on throughout the adventure that were put on hold when things got a bit too scary to stop and read about languages. And she finally finished studying that dragon almanac that she had as well. And she worked a bit more on the tattoo stuff to see if she could get it to a point where she could reliably reproduce effects. And then looking into Etrin's curse, finding out as much as she possibly could to try and discern a path forward with rectifying that problem.
And I will say, with like all the study and everything that you've done so far on Etrin's curse, it's unfortunately come up with a lot of dead ends. It, like, every time you seem to have a breakthrough, it just seems that you quickly find another reason as to why said breakthrough isn't going to reverse it.
It's okay. Every roadblock she comes across just means that she gets to find a different path forward. She's determined or stubborn, probably both.
But as you come in and you shut the door behind you, the door flies open again, and in comes Ollie with like a trail of like 4 other people, carrying kegs and whatnot into the house. And he kind of stops and he sort of a little bit trips over himself. He turns around, he's like, "Oh, Mia, well,
Ollie,
pleasure having you home. I didn't really know anyone was going to be back anytime soon, so unfortunately, the bars run a little dry, as we weren't really keeping things up to tab, as well, nobody was going to be drinking. So when Kel stopped by and told me to get things ready, well, it was sort of a last minute thing."
oh, is Kel here? I just arrived myself.
Yeah, Kel's been here for a couple days. He's been making himself at home and everything like that, but
Is Nalani with him?
no, unfortunately the queen had to stay behind. Queenly duties and all of that.
I suppose, yes. Do you know where I might find him?
Last time I saw him, he was in the bar saying he was just waiting for everyone.
Then that's where I'm headed. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need a hand with anything?
Oh no. I've got the rest of the helpers here. They know how to set everything up.
All right. I'll be in the bar then. It was nice to see you again, Ollie.
Well, you too.
Head off to the bar.
And as you go into the bar, you see that you see Kel and you see Yuriko and you see Valiana again, and then a new face as this rather large and tall black dragonborn sitting at a table just drinking a rather well frosted glass of beer, or alcohol I should say.
I see most of the gang is here already. I kind of expected that I would have been the first. How
It's easy
nice
to get
to
here fast when
see
you portal
all.
in.
Oh, Val, it's been a while.
It has. Good to see you, Mia.
Good to see you as well. Doing well, I hope.
Oh, of course.
And Yuriko, good to see you. And she holds her arms out expectantly. And she stands there for an awkward amount of time.
This is awkward.
You are muted though.
Yeah, she's not moving. She's not moving from behind the bar.
I'll get you one day. And who is this handsome dragonborn?
Is holding your arms open like that some strange gesture which I'm unaware of?
Yes, it's called a hug. Nobody around here seems to know how to do it.
And he'll stand up and walk over and extend a hand to Mia.
For a moment, I thought you were going to hug me. Handshake will do. She'll shake his hand.
It's a pleasure. I'm Castiglione.
Mia, will you be joining us on whatever it is that we're about to embark upon?
According to the Snow Mother, yes.
Follower of the Snow Mother.
Indeed.
Well, I'm sure it will be our pleasure to have you along.
Would you care for something from behind the bar?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a drink, if that's what you're offering.
Anything in particular, or just whatever I happen to grab?
Something sweet.
Now that's going to take a bit of digging. And he digs around a little bit, and is there anything?
You find something underneath the bar. It's a bottle that's pretty much been labeled for Mia.
I'll grab that, grab a glass, and pour that for Mia. Take it over, set it down, and lightly frost it for her.
Such a gentleman. Thank you, Cass. Can I call you Cass? Is that all right?
If it's easier for you, yes.
I will sit with everyone and have a drink.
And as you take your seat, Kemek, you feel it's about time to finally grace everybody with your presence once again.
I will come in via portal from the stone.
And
Why
everybody,
waste resources when I could just do it this way?
yeah, and everybody who's in the house hears the very familiar thum of the basement as the teleportation circle goes off. So what is
You have a portal in the house.
Oh, they have a lot of things in this house. It's interesting. Hot Spring's my favorite.
There's a hot spring in here. That's interesting.
Oh, it's perfect.
Counterproductive, but okay.
It's quite romantic.
Yeah, I guess
happen
you
in
can
there.
say that.
Yeah, somebody had to, Cal. Somebody had to.
Hey, I got there, okay?
Eventually.
Phrasing.
Sounds like there's a story behind that.
Yeah, no, I'll share it another time after the important stuff. And Kemek,
Mm-hmm.
as you're coming up from the basement from the teleportation circle, what have you been up to this past year?
Oh, Kemek has been a busy bee. They 100% cleared out and claimed that Black Tower. That is Kemek's home base now. Thanks to their new abilities, they were able to, over time, over the last year, make a permanent teleportation circle there. So Kemek can come and go as they please. They definitely did some research on it. Especially since the goblin glyph was a great interest to them, among other things, because they barely saw the tower, so much exploring. of course, hired some people, mainly the ones from the house, to kind of help recreate a mage lab and whatnot. Though they were not lazy, they were able to do some stuff on their own. They also kept in touch with Travala, reaching out every so often. Of course, never want to bother a god too terribly much, but for information and guidance of what they need to do, what the next steps are. They've also started working on a couple of projects. Just because it's fun to find out in character, I'm not going to go into too many details, but a couple of objects to kind of test their power and potentially their limit of time magic by creating specific items that would benefit them in the future. So yeah, aside from kind of renovating and clearing out the tower in these two projects, that took a very long time for Gemic. So that was a good chunk of their time, to be honest.
And in regards to what Travala has been doing this past year with you in tow, is the both of you have been helping to establish the first goblin settlement on Odag. A bit of ways from Oak Rush, where the goblins used to call their own stomping grounds, as you know, they would raid the farms and everything like that in order to survive.
You didn't let Kamek destroy them?
No.
Damn it.
No.
Right.
Destroy who? The goblins or Oak Rush?
Golf.
No.
Those specific ones, anyway.
As
Damn it.
all goblins have started to change and accept the ways of their newfound being, sort of incorporating into society where they can. Some have moved to different cities, others now call Morning Glory the home, but not really still creative with names. The town's name is Travala.
We'll workshop it.
Freaking goblins.
Located about 10 miles outside of Oak Rush, a little closer to the Howling Forest, is now the first primary goblin homestead.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to add that to the map now. Sorry.
Yes, we are.
I also did forget, and it's my fault for actually not reaching out to Fox about this, but Kamek actually would have wanted, because of your knowledge now of the crystals, Kamek would have tried to attempt the plans that they actually thought about on how to study the crystal that's inside their bag of hold, so they can see if it actually is explosive or what its magical properties are, and the results of that. So don't know how successful we were and whatnot, so I'll leave that up to you, Rojan. But Kamek did reach out at one point for assistance on the bag of holes, so they don't think that it's just a nuke bomb in their bag this entire time.
So you actually took the giant gem out?
They attempted to take a piece out first, and if that didn't work from a safe distance, would release it. If they were not able to obtain that, not like shoot it from the sky or anything like that, but release it, since Kamek has a means to go into a different plane of existence if that thing exploded, so they could be safe.
Thankfully enough, the crystal didn't explode when you released it. The crystal itself was completely inert. At the moment, what you have is a colorless mana crystal without any power. There is no mana inside this crystal at the moment. Though with your study, you feel as if you could probably guide some form of mana back inside of it and bring it back to life.
Oh, that'd be fun. Okay, if that's the case, Kamek would definitely keep that in their tower. If Mia wanted a piece, they'd be more than happy to give a piece, but with it being a somewhat large crystal, they wouldn't mind trying to experiment with this for
Question
future
though,
possibilities.
what did you trade with the bag in order to get the gem?
Oh, right. Well, since it can literally be anything, they actually shoved a book in there instead.
Just a basic book?
Just a basic book, yeah.
Okay.
Because they pack in them tomes. You don't want to see what my bag of holding has. How many tomes I have freaking in there.
True.
So yeah. So it's just a book for now until they could figure out like what the heck this crystal was all about. So yeah. If we decided to never use it as a bomb, it would have just dropped and go clink. We're like, oh shit.
That would have been a very disappointing climax. I have a question. What did you name your tower?
Funny you should ask. I actually wrote it down and I need to find it. So let me get back to you.
Yeah, you can DM it to me at any point so I can put it on the
Yeah.
map here for my notes for the revisions on the map.
They named it Chemic's Tower.
Yep.
They've named it Do Not Solicitate.
There are those who called it Tim.
I mean, look, with as much as explosions as, we've had in this game so far, I'm surprised nobody has an enchanter named Tim.
Well, no, Tim would be appropriate. It's stands for Timey Immy Magic.
That checks.
Yeah, it works.
But, Chemic, as you come up out of the basement and into the bar area, you see everyone gathered around, though sans both Azure Claw and Nalani.
Oh, great. You're back. As it looks at the elf. Hello.
Oh, hello. Nice to see you again, Kemek.
Is your companion here?
He is.
As Spike is still pretty much glued to Yuriko, like anywhere Yuriko goes, Spike is just following her.
Ugh.
Yeah, Yuriko's just like she's now at this point just like like stroking his scales and you just like she's basically just like, I mean, when he's not full size, he's about the size of a cat, so she treats him like a cat. She's
He's more the size of a large dog, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like a Great
Oh, okay.
Dane?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
I believe when I'm not riding him, he is that size. I think he gets bigger when he's rideable.
Yeah. So I mean, she's just absent-mindedly just like hugging his head and just like scratching his neck.
And he just happily just accepts all like the attention and the scratches.
Right.
I don't know, it looks like he's medium-sized. He's a little bigger. More like a Great Dane. Well, his dogs are so big. You're like, is this a horse?
When does he get flying?
14th level?
I think that sounds right.
Soon.
I don't know. I'll know when we get there.
Kel looking around, it's like, all right, good. Everyone's here.
Who is that? Points at the Black Dragon board.
My name is Castiglione. And you are?
I am Kemek. I didn't realize we were having guests here at this meeting of sorts.
Not exactly a guest. I was sent by the Snow Mother.
He's a new friend.
Another one of those. Interesting.
Yeah,
There's-
Azure Claw couldn't make it, so Cass here is filling in.
Pity. Does that mean that you, Yuriko, and Nalani all know each other?
No.
That might be a good thing. Well, greetings, I suppose, are in order.
Yuriko sighs heavily and audibly and rolls her eyes as she takes a drink.
Now that we're all here, I hope everyone had a nice vacation. But well, things have started taking a turn for the worst once again. My uncle Lias, he's over in the Vampire Kingdoms right now, and things are it's a bit of turmoil, to say. I was telling Yuriko earlier, when you all returned the gods back to their seats of power, unfortunately that tuned in some cults as well. And well, where there's cults and dark worship, there's all sorts of devils and demons looking to take seats of power of their own. On top of that, there's a bit of a not going to say power vacuum, but there are some higher vampire houses looking to try to take the main seat from an aunt of mine. Figured that I can get the band back together, we can head on over there and take a look and see if we can't help out.
And these houses that are trying to take this seat of power, I can only assume they are the types of people that you don't want to have in power.
Well, it's not necessarily like what we dealt with over here. It's more vampire politics.
Wonderful. We moved from one politician to another.
What sort of politics are vampire politics exactly? I'm imagining a lot of biting.
Not biting, but a lot of power plays from the shadows. Assassinations when able.
Ah, the shifty types.
Yes.
It's much like elves. Got it.
Yeah, much like elven politics. Though, I don't expect us to be welcomed with open arms right away into the high society of the vampires. I'm only, well, technically only a quarter blood myself. So, I'm thinking at the moment so we can possibly take a look into this cult ordeal. One in particular sort of caught my eye, as this cult is in the worship of a certain demon that Yuriko here is hunting.
So politics and a cult?
Cults. Numerous cults.
Multiple cults, and sounds like a demon.
Are they all the same cult?
Unfortunately, no.
I mean, anyone that worships religion, is that just technically a cult?
I wouldn't disagree, but think of this less of it religion and more veneration of a being trying to raise it to another seat of power. Kind of like what Bright Scale and everyone were trying to do with Pretender.
Yep, same shit, different pile. All right.
And who better to take on a would-be god than the would-be god slayers, am I right?
Hey, look, the group has a name. Oh God, is that our group name?
The would-be god slayers.
Please no. Please no. As a hard no from Yuriko.
Right.
Look, we don't come up with a name, someone's going to name us eventually.
How far away are these islands?
Well, not too far. Day or two travel. Just across the channel from here.
Yeah, that's not terribly bad.
We don't really have a boat.
Ah,
Yes, we do.
you, yeah. You have your merchant vessel. So, as luck will have it, I have my boat.
Wait, the one with the tree and goes into space?
You got it.
So it's real.
Yes, the Sister Carnage is real. Hope it's real. I've been on it multiple times since I was a kid.
Heard lots of stories about it. I'm excited to actually see it.
Everything that comes out of your mouth seems impossible, so sure.
So these vampire isles or islands or continents or whatever it is, the houses or kingdoms or what have you, they've been there for a while, I take it.
Yes.
Now, vampires and the whole immortality thing. Which means they must have some pretty extensive libraries.
I'm gonna have to say I guess. Can't say I haven't really been in many of the establishments up there, you know. There's probably about 12 different royal houses and then a bunch of lower houses. And well, then you've got Castle Von Reith, where my aunt and the High Council sit. I know Castle Von Reith has a rather extensive library.
Out of curiosity, are you on good terms with your aunt?
Familiar terms.
Familiar enough to get us access to that library?
I wouldn't cross your fingers with me being able to talk my aunt into getting you access to anything in the castle. My uncle, on the other hand, might. Hence why I suggest, we start tracking these cults down when we can and taking care of them and helping out the populace when need be. Because if there's one thing I know, one way to get on the good side of the vampires is to make sure their food source is alive and well taken care of.
There's a good side of vampires now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a quarter vampire. Mom's half a vampire. My grandfather's a full vampire. My uncle's a full vampire. And then you've got my aunt, who's technically the queen of the vampires. Well, anyway, at the moment.
They're not going to mistake us for food, are they?
Ah, no. Thank you for reminding me that. He just starts patting himself. He pours out a couple small insignia pins. Wear these means you're under protection and you are not food.
Don't have to tell me
And who will be
twice.
protected by?
So you're telling me a pin is between us and becoming lunch.
Yep.
Lovely.
Anyone who's sporting a house pin is thus unable to be touched by anyone or any vampire, high or low.
Yes,
And
and
then-
what house protects us through these?
Castle Von Reith protects you in this one. You bear the Queen's insignia.
Great.
For any who acknowledge it.
Is that Rithe?
Yes.
Protected by someone we don't even know. So interesting.
And protected by them only if they respect the pin and what it symbolizes.
Oh, they respect the pin. Anyone who's in, well, I should say any vampire on that island knows exactly what these pins signify. And if you cross a house, you're inviting technically war between you and the house you have then just disrespected.
That still ends with us being dead before something is done about it.
I've been dead before. You get better after a while.
I'm sorry, how many times have you been dead before, specifically?
5.
3 or 4. Or 5. You lose count after a while.
Yeah.
Considering I spent most of my time sealing the dead in the ground, I'm impressed.
Technically, Mia is on her last leg. She cannot be raised again.
Ooh, poor Mia.
You die, you
Count as
done.
one
Fox,
living.
why does all you characters get here?
It's not on
Can they
purpose.
Can they be
Mhm.
resurrected, though?
They can be reincarnated.
Donated.
Ugh.
But
True resurrection.
but resurrection and anything like that will not apply because the soul is already too weak to be recalled to the body.
Darn, You're
you can strike to
Horcruxed.
that barrel
Yeah.
20 times.
Yeah.
There's only wood left at the bottom. There ain't much left.
Yeah, Yuriko will look at Cal and go, as far as we can tell, she's not a lich yet. But
That's usually the next step, unfortunately. Don't do that.
Does seem to be a common practice for powerful wizards, doesn't it?
Until they end up dead permanently.
I think that's the whole point of the ritual, yes.
not endearing yourself to the paladin.
The paladin who has sworn to, uphold death and destroy the undead.
Like, let's say.
You're the reason Ash killed that guy in episode 3.
Well, when are we leaving?
Anytime we're ready, I can kind of holds up a card. I've got a gateway here that'll take us right to the deck.
No time like the present, right?
Let me just get my things.
Is this magic ship of yours? How long will it take for us to get there aboard it?
Well, if we want to do the normal sailing, take us about a day. So if I ask her to fly, it could take us about an hour or 2.
Wait, your ship is also sentient.
Your boat flies.
Yes and yes. Well, technically the tree is sentient, and yes, the ship can fly. It can also travel the astral sea on whim.
Ooh, let's do that.
Cass instantly regretting joining this group.
Nobody as excited about that as I am. Okay.
I just want information as we travel. How we travel there, I don't care. I just want information as to what we're getting ourselves into as far as how their politics are, the do's and don'ts, the family that we are supposedly protected under, and their enemies, and all the details in between.
Well, I don't have all of that information, but
Of course you don't.
do I look like a royal?
No.
No.
No. My
It's
mom
hard,
might
you don't
technically be a vampire princess, but I'm as far as royalty as you can get.
Splendid.
Is he though? Is he?
Well, technically, yes. Because if you look at it, his title for after marrying Alani is pretty much Queen's Consort.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
He got an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
He's just eye candy.
He went from prince to Queen's Consort.
Sort of prince.
Not necessarily a prince.
Don't belittle this. Don't belittle this for me. How dare you shame my family?
No, I'm just saying, you know, like in the royalty stack, I mean, he's like 2 levels above a prince. Like he's up there.
Yep.
He's got more titles than his brother now.
Whatever.
That's what siblings do.
Right. Well, I always leave packing as if I'm not coming back for a long period of time, so I'm pretty much ready to go whenever everyone else is.
I'm used to having everything on me. I never know when Piper might call for a job, and I have to pack up and go.
I have a lot more books at home that I'd love to bring on a journey like this, but I don't have a quick way home, so I'll have to go with what I've got.
Mick knew the term skill issue.
Well, I do want to put a teleportation circle in, but I'm pretty sure my mother would skin me alive if I did that.
Oh, yeah,
How's your mother, by the way?
Let's just put a teleportation circle on a hag hut. What could go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's only bad if you get caught.
And as everybody's
As the whole coven just shows up.
as everyone's prepping to leave, I will grab all of my weapons and such, and then walk over to the bar and grab 2 bottles of something that looks mildly expensive.
Rojan, you can say no. I just want to ask. In my year of travel, could Yuriko have procured a bag of holding?
Yes. Seeing as how everything is no longer, magic bad or anything like that, yeah, you can easily have procured a bag of holding.
I was going to ask something along the same line, otherwise this could be very interesting.
Anyone who wishes to have a bag of holding may have a bag of holding.
Yay!
It doesn't fit the blades, but it fits all the miscellaneous things.
God, suckers.
The daggers.
How big is the freaking the
Socket dimension?
no, it's not the hilt, it's the pommel. No, the pommel's the end.
The cross guard.
Yeah.
The cross guard. There we go. Thank you. I was trying to. It wouldn't come out of my head. Like it's got to be like ginormous if it can't fit in a bag of holding.
No, you just don't put the sharp things in the bag.
It's a character problem, not a bag problem.
I mean,
Not to mention, who knows if you're grabbing hilt or blade when you reach into that bag.
if they are sheathed and locked in that sheath, that's a different discussion, but don't stick raw blades in.
Okay. So as everyone grabs their gear and makes preparation, Kel rips the card and throws both halves against the wall as another portal appears, and you can see the deck of a ship with a very large, vibrant tree in the center. Normally where, the mast would be, but instead you've got this giant tree. Oh, this portal's only open for 30 seconds, so
On through we go.
No time like the present.
Yeah, going right through.
Yuriko still takes a breath before she goes through the portal.
And as you all go through, he's the final one to walk through the portal as it shuts behind him. And the air right now is rather chilly. As you look around, you can see clouds sort of passing by the side of the ship.
Yuriko's gonna reach out for one.
And you reach out and your hand goes, your fingers just like go right through the clouds.
And she's just gonna absentmindedly smile as she does that. She's never, like, this is 100% brand new experience for her.
As you're enjoying the clouds through your fingers, you can look down and you are a couple miles off the ground. And Hell walks over and just like runs his hands across the tree and pats it as he just begins to walk the deck, making sure everything's okay. And then you just hear in your head, everyone hears in their head, well, hello everyone. Welcome to all of you first-time travelers. Hi,
The tree talks.
what an interesting group of people we have today. Though this ship does seem to cater to the interesting.
Hello, and
Who's
you
this?
are?
You know, I don't remember the tree's name. That's the bad thing. It's been forever. It's
Oh
been
god,
forever.
I packed my D&D books. I don't know. My notes are tucked away.
Oh God, I don't know if I have it written down in season 2 notes.
Awkward.
Is it Savara?
Oh yeah.
That sounds right.
Sounds right. Yeah.
You know what? We'll just say
Because we
this.
were making fun of it because it's close to Sahara.
Until we
I'm sorry, who?
spoke- Shut up. We brought her back. How dare
It's,
you, sir?
The only name that I have in
That's
my notes
right.
for the ship specifically, so I'm going to assume Savara is what her name is.
My name is Savara. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Kel informs me that I am taking you across the sea to your neighboring islands.
Oh, so you're the ship. Interesting. You didn't mention you could speak.
No, dear, I am the tree. The ship is just an extension of my being.
Very interesting.
Fey creature of some sort.
No, dear, not a fake creature.
Yeah, if she was a fake creature, she wouldn't be here.
This is true. All the high-powered Fae got shunted out of the realm.
Yay, the ship survived.
No, I
'Cause
am.
she's-
I am more the battery for the ship that allows it to travel faster and by non-conventional means.
Is it true that you can sail through the astral sea?
Indeed, I can sail the astral sea. I can take us to the stars beyond.
I would like to do all of that, please.
And
Don't
Kel-
we have
Kel
something we're
sort of like-
supposed to be doing?
sort of raises his hand, is like, Samara, hold on. Look, I understand it's all exciting to be on the ship for the first time, but we've got things we got to do. Maybe after we take care of everything, we can go on a trip around the astral sea. But right now, let's focus on what we need to do.
I suppose.
Savara. Said Sahara. Let's hold off on the astral sea trip or the space trip, and just take us to Shul Gavhon. Fastest way possible, guys.
Yeah.
I guess.
Your ship.
As long as we don't die in the process, sure.
Yeah, as long as we don't die or get the attention of any sort of like angry cloud giants or accidentally blow up, as seems to be the case when we travel together. Anything like that, if we could avoid it, that would be preferred.
I have never lost a passenger on any of my voyages through any of the timelines that I have been alive in.
Any of the timelines?
That's a bomb.
As Cal is like, right. Savara here has technically been a part of the lives of my mother and her friends through multiple timelines and their resets.
You're pulling our leg, right?
No,
Joking the newbies?
no, not at all. I mean, you should know that Piper loves to tell the tale
know,
of how
but-
Tickles and everyone, kicked forward the timeline again.
I know, but I still like to assume it's not actually true.
It's true.
I'll tell.
It's true. Trust me.
That's disturbing.
Hey, look on the bright side. They were successful and they got a cool ship out of it.
Interesting. Well, I'm not gonna pretend to even understand that, but as long as we're safe, I guess that's okay.
All right. Savara, whenever you're ready. Shul Gavhon, please. As says that the ship sort of just begins to slowly turn as you just begin to fly at a high speed through the skies. And you're only airborne for about an hour before those of you on deck begin to see that you are losing altitude. As you're slowly lowering down as the ship touches down in the ocean, as oars pop out of the sides of the ship and begin to row in unison, as you see off in the distance a large landmass guarded by 3 small islands with massive forts on them. Off in the distance, a large mountain range and a very impressive looking Gothic castle reaching up to the sky in the distance. As you begin to pass beyond these, as you begin to approach the forts, Kel walks by and begins to flip small rolled up banisters along the side of the ship. So we'll let him know who we represent, and we shouldn't be stopped and be able to make touchdown in Thornburg without an issue. Make sure you keep those pins visible. Don't need any of you becoming a meal.
Immediately make sure that my pin is visible.
Yep.
Yes,
I-
Important.
And
You
that-
know how Kemek has that collar that goes up the neck a little bit?
Mhm.
Definitely puts it right on the side. No snack for you. My
Don't
neck.
touch.
No touch. My neck. Consent.
Give me a sec. I have a. Okay. I just saw messages from Zora. I had to check.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm just writing it down while I still have ideas. Sorry.
So as you touch down and you begin to get closer to these islands, you can see that the sun begins to like lose a little bit of its brightness as you cross in between the... Actually, I don't know why I'm not doing this right now. Give me a moment. No, Evie, don't eat my wires. I should probably take you to the new map.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh.
It's amazing how, because I know not everyone sees this, but it's amazing how when I look at your MS Paint stuff and then seeing how
See what Fox does with it.
is amazing.
Hey,
It's
there's
like-
a Fort Xavier.
It's like, hey Fox, take my third grader MS Paint and make it into a work of art. I should actually post the MS Paint version of this map in general in Discord so everybody can see it.
I don't like
And
that
that's-
South Fort. I want to go home.
That's half of the fun of doing maps is just coming up with the finer details. The way I used to make maps was I'd take a piece of paper and then I'd just drop some ink onto it, so it splattered out and made ink blots all over the paper, and then I'd make the continent shape using that. It's a lot of fun.
That's so cool.
Anyone that's interested in map making, absolutely give it a try.
I highly recommend Fox or Rogen if you wanted to take the before and after picture and put it in the cartography channel and just see the side by side. It's great every time. I love seeing this. It's cool. You just look at Fox and you're like, you get me.
That's what I feel like you do with our character art.
We have synergy. The whole server.
And apparently,
we got synergy.
and apparently a motorcycle.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that's me. When it gets to be around this late at night, the street outside of my house is literally a 3-mile long straight line.
Oh,
So yeah,
yep.
all the dragsters come out. So if I hear sirens, I'll mute myself because usually that's what comes after.
Oh, did you zoom out for everyone to see the map?
No, I accidentally zoomed out.
Oh, gotcha.
I accidentally zoomed out to where it was just like a pinpoint. No, but so as you pass between the islands of Fort Alexander and Fort Vincent, by the way, the forts take up the entirety of those islands.
Oh, damn.
They are heavily fortified. You can see cannons and other anti-ship artillery along the walls and along the island and everything. You can even see multiple heavily armored soldiers sort of watching you as you pass by. And as soon as you break through in between these islands, you see just spread out amongst the waters themselves are these massive metal warships, all spouting various militaristic flags, all of them heavily armed, looking like they could take on a Leviathan themselves.
The Don't Touch Me, My Fort Islands. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Come at me, bro islands.
Why does it look like that one hates everyone?
I didn't know you could make a ship out of all metal.
Oh, it's impressive, isn't it? Vampire Fleet's one of the strongest and most advanced fleets out there. Anything if it's what they're known for is their naval superiority.
Not be blood sucking and polymorphing.
I mean, not really. That's like asking humans if they're known for eating meat and drinking wine.
Depending on who you ask, some of them will say they are.
It's funny how
True.
people constantly stereotype. It's funny how that happens.
Does the long, like, 1,000-yard stare.
Funny how
Yeah,
that's
like-
a thing.
Yeah, funny how.
Gotta raise my camera a little bit. Cut off halfway by the dungeon master marker. But you begin to just drift through the waters as you begin to make your way towards a very large port city, backed by an impressive, what looks to be evergreen forest. As you get closer to the city, you can see that a lot of the homes and a lot of the buildings here in this town have like a very Gothic aesthetic to them. Very high pointed buildings, a couple towers here and there. So the closer you get to town, the more and more the sunlight begins to disappear until it's just barely there enough to light the way.
Suppose that explains the name.
Oh, you speak dragon.
I do, yes.
Yeah. It's not necessarily something they just wanted to call it because, Vampire Island.
I can see how that would be bad for tourism.
It would be a bit too on the nose.
You mean like calling a icy barren island Greenland and vice versa?
What is this Greenland?
Yeah, kind of like that, but no. Shul Gavhon means sunlight surrender. The common tongue. Well, as you can see, there is a bit of a enchantment around the island that protects some of the more sensitive denizens from the light's embrace when it's out. Still enough,
Just about to ask.
still enough to cause a minor migraine to some of the lower vampires, but not enough to get anyone bursting in flames.
I was actually going to ask about that. I didn't know if this was like
For my-
seasonal or something else.
Own curiosity, does that affect magical sources of light as well?
No, just as he points up to the sun, just that.
Oh, good.
Though I will tell you at night, once the moons rise, that's when, quote unquote, fun begins. We don't just play home to vampires. There are other denizens of the night that come out at that time. That's why most of the non-enlightened, as they're known as, tend to stay indoors and don't really leave the gates of town unless need be. Simple ground rules. I know it's going to be hard. Trust me, it's hard for me too. But somebody is being pursued by a vampire at night, and they are not wearing a pin, you are not to stop them. It's the natural order of things here.
I mean, to be fair, it's not my business anyway, so do what they want.
I tend to have to they tend to have to let some visitors know about this, as from time to time you get some unfortunate soul trying to be the hero, and either they die in the process or they end up wounding somebody from a great house, and then well, there's just all kinds of hell to pay.
What if the person being pursued is someone that we know, and we don't want them to be eaten?
Rules are, if they are not a protected individual, you are to let the hunt continue. Now that
Who do
being
you know on this island?
Now that being said, if you can think you can stop it without being seen, don't get caught.
See. So, the classic, it's not illegal if you don't get caught type rules.
Universal law.
Pirate rules.
So if you are caught, let's just say don't get caught.
Understood.
Sometimes the risks greatly outweigh the good intentions.
I'll only have a problem if they come after me.
You keep that pin up on your neck, you shouldn't have too much issue.
I'm sorry, did you just say too much issue?
Well, yeah. I mean, nothing will hunt you, but people may still try to get a little cross.
Good to know.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna take a strap of leather and tie it around Spike's neck with a pin in it as well, because it's like, nope, nope.
My emotional support dragon is also protected.
Can't you just like bamf him?
I can. I can. She doesn't like to do that.
Dragon. Out of curiosity, after Kemming now sees the dragon, are animals fair game then, or they just don't give a shit?
Depends on the animal. I mean, somebody takes a look at a Spike here, they may want, to try to find out what dragon blood tastes like. But most of the time, they stick to humans and other mortal-like creatures.
Well, I suppose I wasn't too terribly worried anyway, since my bird is undead anyway.
Yes, I had honestly hoped to maybe bring Mr. Crowley along, but when you said Vampire Isles, he's got 2 necks, so he should stay behind.
I forgot about that.
It just sounds like you need 2 pins. 1 for each neck.
Suppose, but
Not terribly sure that's how it works.
I'd rather not take the chance.
Well, then I don't suppose vampires are the only race here, so I feel like we don't need to hide or anything of the sort.
No,
Especially with pins.
just be known that a lot of the individuals here, those who aren't protected, are technically serving life sentences. Shipped here from their own homelands to technically feed the beast.
Wait, are we on fucking Australia?
Empire Australia.
Everything is trying to eat you.
Yeah.
Just
G'day,
different
Morta.
form.
Still very accurate.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no, I see it now. There's Australia. There's New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great Barrier Reef. Yeah, no, I see it now.
God damn it. When I was making the MS Paint, I did not use Australia as inspiration.
If you just flip it over one direction, it's totally Australia.
Is it?
Kind of, as far as islands go.
God
yeah.
damn it.
Not exact, but
I didn't mean to make Australia.
God damn it! Now
Take
we're
it
gonna
back
get
now.
copyrighted from Australia. Just kidding.
Oh, God, yeah. Because we own the shape of
All-
Australia.
Yes.
all the creatures
Oh.
now have extended life bars, and everything is out to eat you.
Sounds
The
about right.
koalas now hiss at you.
Don't fuck with the emus.
Yuriko's gonna look at Kel and go, so do we have a contact or do we just
Yeah,
walk
we're
around until we find someone culty?
no, we're meeting our contact. As he says that, the ship pulls into port. He once again pats the tree as he begins to disembark. Oh, you coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this contact your uncle by any chance?
Got it.
One step closer to that library.
Look, I wouldn't count on it. Okay. He's gotten better, but he still isn't the biggest fan of vampires.
Well, you know, we did just kind of fix the celestial plane. Surely that offers us a little bit of leeway.
When
I
undead
wouldn't
race
go
really.
around reading random books.
Mm-hmm.
You might not like what you find.
Yeah, Ash.
Wow,
I
way to
have-
bring her into this.
Not yet encountered a book that I have not thoroughly enjoyed reading.
Oh, give it time.
I have paged through a few cursed tomes in my day, but they were thrilling nonetheless.
Explains a lot.
I mean, if the book doesn't try to kill you as you're reading it, is it even worthwhile reading it in the first place?
Exactly.
Ash would agree. As long as if it's a good read.
Or if it's smutty.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Ash and her killer smut books that she has hidden in the library. It's like-
Yeah.
All right. So before we before we get into the next portion of tonight's episode, let's go ahead and take a quick break so we can get up, stretch your legs, freshen up drinks, and all that fun stuff, and we will be right back.
Woo!
Oh,
Till he turns somebody
okay.
into a giant ice cube.
We are back. Who's turning who into a giant ice cube?
No one yet.
Ah, okay.
Give it time.
Everyone back?
Yeah, Azrin's here.
Okay.
I think
Yep, I'm
Gilby
back.
isn't.
Billy might still be dealing with Babu.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just stuffing my face.
So as you make landing and disembark from the Sister Carnage, Hell begins to lead you through the streets of Thornburg, which you as you get off, you could see that there are various peoples from different walks of life about. Some of them with house pins like very predominantly out in sight, class to like like the collar of their coat, or like on the or like on like the inner chest of a coat, or anywhere that anybody can see it, marking them as safe or a representative of one of the higher houses, while others look well taken care of, well fed, not really wanting for anything, operating shops, blacksmiths, almost as if this was just a normal everyday town, if you didn't have the knowledge of most people here were sent here due to a life sentence or due to another crime that would call for a harsher punishment. But as you're walking through Thornburg, the streets itself are rather alive. You do see that amongst the people that there are children here as well, more than likely children from the people who now call this area home. While you're a criminal at the same time, put out onto an island and everything, love will find a way. But as you walk through the well-cobbled streets of Thornburg, you are taken through a back alley to a interesting and oddly named pub of the Slaughtered Pig. And as you begin to walk in, you see that there is a rather intricate mark on the door, almost showing various house sigils on it as well. And as you approach the door, Kel taps it. Keep an eye out for these establishments. These establishments are open only to vampires and those who are under the protection of houses. Nobody else can enter through here. These are considered neutral territory, safe havens. Nobody may draw a blade, cast a spell, or anything on here unless they want to acquire the wrath of all the high houses.
What about mundane magic?
No magic whatsoever.
Oh, this is going to be hard.
You'll see, pushes the door open. Very, what you would expect to be a somber looking place. It's quite the opposite, as it is at the moment almost packed to the brim with people. A lone bard sitting in the corner strumming on a guitar as some of the patrons give you looks, noticing Kel and then the various pins on you, the people following him in. And as soon as they give you a quick once over, They go back to their table conversations. They go back to their drinks. Kel scans the room for a moment and nods to a back corner and hastily leads you through. Slides into a booth next to a finely dressed gentleman. While Kel is dressed in his typical adventuring leathers and with his blades and everything, this gentleman looks just to be the utmost definition of class. So it looks like, you know, he's starting to show his age a bit, not too much. He's got a little bit of graying in his hair, but he still has that unnatural, youthful look that most higher vampires are well known for. And as you begin to take your seats around this table, he does a very slow scan, almost taking a mental note of each of you before his eyes move to the next. Well, I can see my nephew didn't bring the casual riff this time. So these are the ones who slayed the would-be god. Kel nods. He's like, yep, that's them. Good lot of people by my account. Gentleman kind of looks at Kel almost as he wants to say something, but catches himself before any words leave his mouth. So I take it my nephew has given you at least the gist of what's going on here.
More or less, yes.
And you've all come willing under your own accord.
Let's see, there's someone giving you trouble who I very much want to kill.
For one reason or another, I think, yes, we've all come of our own free will.
Good. As what I ask of you by our laws cannot be undertaken without your uncoerced consent.
I mean, we may still decide this isn't an adventure for us once we have the finer details, but for now, we're here.
Yes, the
Yuriko
details.
speaks up. She's like, if who I'm looking for is here, and I have a reason to kill him without being abject to your laws, I'm in 100%.
Well, how to say this without making it sound, just outright say it. This kingdom is in a state of turmoil, both from inner turmoil, political power moves, and the such. Something that I am attempting to oversee and quell. But more pedestrian threats have risen about as of late. Civilian uprisings. Those who wish that, well, not even wish, those who see themselves above the laws of this land, who are trying to wrestle control away from the council in order to gain their own independence.
I was under the impression that the non-immortal populace was brought here because of various reasons.
Crimes. All of them crimes. Life or death sentences have, from their home nations, have sent them here for one reason or another. When brought here, they are told that they will be taken care of. They can live their lives as they see fit, as long as they obey the laws. But at the end of the day, they are cattle. Some have started to rise up against that notion. Understandably so. I am not under any belief that we should keep these people as nothing but cattle. But that is a fight that I'm trying to take to Castle Von Wright, for the higher seats. But as I work there, these individuals causing unrest are working their own methods in the shadows. This is just a warning to watch out for them, as carrying these pins marks you as a target for them. As you are seen to have aligned yourselves with what they are considering their enemy. Wow.
No.
We were gonna be
Dude.
someone's enemy, no matter who we were.
No disrespect, but I find it very difficult to understand how you're unable to suss out these cultists and deal with them.
Oh, the cult is a different matter. The cult is the main reason I called you here. As far as we know, there are three larger cults at the moment that pose the most danger. The cult of the faceless, the cult of the weeping, and the cult of the broken. You're the one they call Unwelcomed.
Yes.
The cult of the broken is the one that we believe may be in worship of the demon you seek. You can tell from the information that we have, you can tell that their members all wear necklaces of a shattered horn.
That's good to know.
Thornburg itself has been under a wave of kidnappings recently. Finding sacrificed civilians a little inside the Thorn's Edge forest. We believe the cultists may be calling their home there. Though try as we might, our hunters can never seem to get a pinpoint as to where they are looking. Whether by magic or some foul boon, they're one or two steps ahead of us every time.
And why is it, do you think? Is there a mole amongst you?
That's one angle that's being looked into. But every investigation we've done into anything with them always leads to a dead end.
Sounds very familiar.
The weeping colts can be found in Celia's bog, or Sila's bog. There's a town inside this bog itself, the town of Sila's Sorrow. Their individuals have also been reporting various disappearances. Also, strange individuals offering ease of suffering, deals, wishes, all sorts of nonsensical promises. We believe that there may be a coven of hags beyond or behind this cult.
Where might they reside?
All bets point towards somewhere in the bog itself.
Well, since we're not familiar with this area, I suppose a map would be in order before we continue wherever we go.
He reaches into his vest pocket and he pulls out a map of the island and sets it in front of you. And a map you shall have.
Ah, thank you, Mr.
Lias. Count Lias Delismore.
Ah, Hound. Well, appreciate it.
Yes, he has graduated to the rank of Count.
Oh my. Daddy would be proud.
Growing up.
All 400 and something years old of him. I don't know. I have to look.
Little Lias is all grown up.
Oh, tear to my
Aw.
eye.
He's got his big boy fangs.
The Faceless, on the other hand, are scattered. As far as we can tell, they operate in Thornburg, Vetraburg, and Horaceburg. A nasty little cult. We don't know what or who they worship, but they leave all of their victims without a face, skinning them. For whatever means we do not know, but their actions and attacks seem to be at random right now. Though at the moment, Horaceburg seems to be the main focus of their carnage. Now, I don't need to tell you that all of these settlements are mortal settlements, which concerns the council as it is a threat to their food chain. Your task, if you are willing, and I hope this isn't a waste of my time, is to look into these cults and to deal with them however you see fit.
Excellent. With no interference from your kin.
My kin won't have a problem with you as long as you obey the law. Now, if you somehow discover that a protected individual or a member of a high house is involved in any one of these cults, acquire proof, bring it to me. We'll go through the official channels for them.
sounds about right.
I do have one question.
Of course.
What if we're pulled into a confrontation with someone or some group who is protected, since there's a possibility that there may be traitors amongst your highborn?
If anyone is foolish enough to break our most sacred laws, you are more than welcome to defend yourself. Take them alive if possible, as then they can stand to face their crimes. So if you need to take a life, you have our blessing to do so. But killing should be a last resort.
I just wanted to make sure that if it push comes to shove, we have options.
Oh, we are not beyond allowing people to defend themselves. If a marked attacks another marked, that is seen as a slight against their house. Bringing them in alive allows for the offending house to make reparations to keep the peace. And the peace right now between the houses is balanced on a very, very thin edge.
After coming all this way, it wouldn't feel right to turn back now. However, I do hope that perhaps there's something you can do for me in return for my assistance with this. I mean, I'm sure everyone else has got their own price, so to speak, but...
You mean aside from paying you?
Money is nice, but I value knowledge far above money.
Of course
She's
you
a
do.
book freak.
Judging from your outfit, I'd say you're a mage.
Of sorts. But I mean, aside from access to any library that you might be able to give us access to, there is something a little bit more specific I had in mind.
And that is?
It's my understanding from your nephew here that you are from... what was the name of it? Talendra, I believe? The continent? Is this correct?
This is correct.
So you are familiar then with the city of Kamiraska?
All too well.
Wonderful.
This is the first time I've heard anyone call the Roskins one.
You know, that does seem to be a theme anytime this place comes up. I'd be very curious to visit the place myself one day. But for now, a good friend of mine has found himself in some trouble. And he, as far as he told me anyway, hails from Kamiraska. If you could dig up any information you can find on Etrin Fengalor and pass that information along to me, and if you find anything...
A High Prince.
That's the one, yes. And if you could find anything on something called rune scarring in the process, that would help me greatly.
Do you know the whereabouts of the High Prince?
I do.
And where exactly is this Kami Roskin whelp at the moment?
I tap on the book. He's right here.
Oh. So the curse was true.
It has taken hold of him, but I intend on reversing it.
Oh, you wizards. I would suggest you give up such a lost cause. Though, as you are doing me a favor, I will try to dig up as much as I can on this. Would you call it rune scarring?
Yes,
I'll dig up what I can.
thank you. And I do suspect there was much that he did not tell me about him and his history, so if there's anything in that regard that you think might be relevant to my quest, I would appreciate that as well.
That may be a little hard to come by. The royal family, as I say, isn't really forthcoming with personal information on them.
Yes, it has been a difficult road thus far. I have unfortunately found many roadblocks.
Well, as you are doing me this favor, I, again, will look into it.
Thank you.
If I can't find anything my personal scribes may. So I would take it this means that you and your friends here are willing to help.
Well, I'm certainly on board, but I don't speak for everyone.
I hear you have a vast library.
Back home, yes.
What about ones here? Just brimmed to the knowledge.
Here I own no library. So are you speaking of the libraries Castle Von Reich?
If it is vast, then yes.
They are vast and numerous.
Oh, excellent. Then yes. I would like to have access to it at some point.
That I cannot promise you, though doing a service to the kingdom and the High Council would definitely garner you at least some favor in that aspect.
Good to know. Again, I plan on being here for a while. I imagine this is not going to happen within the week, so time is my specialty.
Well, I will. Once you provide results, I can put in a good word for you with my aunt and the council, and who knows, maybe you'll be given a book to look at.
Wonderful. Baby steps, as it were.
Right now, the baby isn't crawling yet.
Again, I have time.
Does anyone else have any out of the box requests to make of me?
Not particularly. You have a cult and, well, obviously partial undead problem. I'd be happy to help you solve it.
You said I'm getting paid. That's all I care about.
Wonderful. He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a set of keys and he lays them on the table. These keys will unlock a apartment here in Thornburg that you can use to rest and recuperate.
Out of curiosity, is there a permanent, accessible teleportation circle that we may have access to should we need to get back in a jiffy?
In Thornburg? No.
Yes.
Teleportation circles and means off the island are strictly prohibited, lest they are in a great house. Very few may come and go as they please, and we don't need a jailbreak situation.
Yes, I have to make some friends. Not my specialty.
There's a spell for that.
I know of the one
I
you
would
speak.
warn you, the creation of any teleportation circles or the use of teleportation magic on non-sanctioned individuals in non-sanctioned areas is a extreme crime here.
Where are those unsanctioned areas?
Everywhere that is not a great house.
Oh. That's not terrible then.
He kind of opens up a window and he points out to just like the vast mountain range where you can again see Castle Von Wright reaching up into the sky. Every one of the great houses is in that mountain range.
Impressive. Does it, on a character, does it look like one, like Castlevania like castle, or is it just like a range of castles
what
across
you
the
can
mountain
see,
range?
what is most predominantly visible is just like this giant Castlevania like castle. But Kel has told you that other houses of like the great houses and like the lower tier vampire houses litter that mountain range.
The towns and cities around here, do they have, like, I don't know, designated shops and stuff that we're allowed to visit? Or do we just kind of go anywhere and understand that those places that have the sigils on them, like this one did, are safe havens, but everywhere else is kind of go at your own risk type of thing?
The establishments that bear the sigils aren't necessarily a quote-unquote safe haven. They are neutral ground, meaning anyone in here is not allowed to draw upon another individual. Out on the streets, again, you are expected to uphold the laws and tenets of this land. And as you are protected, nobody should be attempting to assault you, as that is a high risk. Now, if you do somebody an injustice, insult them in a matter, they may request a duel, which is allowed by law. Or they may require some form of restitution be paid in order to ease that insult.
These duels, are those issued just by verbal declaration, or is there like an actual process involved to issuing a duel?
Most of the time, they will do it to your face. Verbal declarations, setting a time and place for the duel.
See, how interesting.
It's archaic.
And I assume they're most likely to the death to satisfy.
Depends on the offense that is given.
Right.
Most are fine with the first to draw blood 3 times, then to ending a life. As even in a duel, if one's life is lost, restitution still must be paid to the house that lost you. Even though the fee is less. I will check in from time to time to make sure that you are upholding to the end of your bargain, and if you have any information to provide me. Tell me, how well are you off with monetary value? I don't know how much gold the group has.
Well, in our group treasury, we have
Back
10
home.
gold, but I'm
I was gonna
sure
say
we
don't
all
have a lot.
I'm sure individually we all have some.
Did any of us
Yeah,
earn gold over time?
Lonnie was the one with all the money.
Yeah, Yuriko's
Sure, Azure
packing.
Claw
He's
has
got
a ton.
cash.
Azure Claw had a lot.
Lonnie had a lot.
He probably makes a lot too.
I still have a decent amount of gold plus gems, so
Yeah, Mia's got
It
1,200
looks
gold on her. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's, enough to live on, live decently on.
I wasn't really aware we needed money for this trip. That much money for this trip. Did not bring a lot.
See. Well,
Yuriko will look at Val and say, "Don't worry, I got you covered."
for now, as a sign-on bonus, as they call it, he reaches on his belt and he places a satchel of gold onto the table. Inside, you'll find 500 gold. Well, promissory notes of 500 gold. Carrying such an exuberant amount of money would make you a target no matter if you're protected or not.
Good to know.
So if we are done here, I have other business to attend to outside of the city.
Yeah, I suppose we are. We have the details on the 3 cults and where they're suspected to be and who they're suspected to worship, so I guess we take it from there.
I wish I could provide more information, but what we have is scarce. They know our methods, that's why we needed to bring outside help.
Well, I don't think it'll be a walk in the park, but I think we're a capable group.
My nephew vouches for you, and so I will put my trust behind you for the time. For the moment, you have the protection of Castle Von Ring as well. Do not spoil that. To besmirch the name of the royal family is most definitely a death sentence here.
Sounds like most things are.
Duly noted.
Nephew, give my regards to your wife when you return. Kel sort of nods as Lias gets up and gives all of you a quick bow before he makes his way out of the establishment.
It's quite
Out of character curiosity, who aside from us was at the wedding? Was it like, hush hush, super quiet? Was it like a big fancy gala affair?
I would
Yeah, Nalani.
I would assume.
I mean, you can't not invite the groom's family.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would assume at least Turok and Ash showed up.
Which means Ash finally got her armor
Yeah.
back.
I was gonna
Ash
say,
got
is
her
that
armor
when you
back.
gave it off? The dowry to,
Yep, the
marrying
dowry.
the son.
I love how that's what that's become.
I
You.
don't know why it does that. I didn't want to derail. I was just curious because I'm like, because Elias mentioned the wife, so I was like, did he meet Nalani?
No, Lias was not there. Lias is still that semi-cold individual.
Yuriko appreciates that.
He's trying, he's getting better, but at the same time, it's very hard to break 300 some odd years of conditioning.
Yeah. Baby steps. I mean, to come that far in 60 years, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Considering how they have, a couple thousand years of time, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to see the family resemblance there, Kel. He's a bit serious, and you're a bit not.
Well, that's Uncle Lias is a full-blooded vampire and was raised in the old ways. I was raised by my mom and dad, who are anything but the olds.
So you're gonna be traveling with us, right? You're gonna be with us for this whole thing?
I would love to, but I have duties of my own I gotta get.
Nalani can wait.
Want to tell her that?
No.
Look, I'm the only one who can still take one of her punches and stand, so.
I suppose.
When he says that, Yuriko just kind of glances over to Cal, and she doesn't say it out loud, but like in her head, she's like, "I think Cal can take one."
Oh, you must be Nalani. Punch me. So, as soon as we're done here, I'm taking my happy ass all the way back to Tamaga.
Do you have maybe any suggestions where we should start? I mean, we could just wander around and start asking people about these cults, but if you're at all familiar with this place, maybe you could at least point us in a direction.
If it were me leading the expedition here, I would honestly just start by going into the forest itself, taking a look at where some of the bodies have been found, seeing if you can't gain any information from that, possibly track down any leftover materials or anything like that. Most people here, they're going to be they're not going to be very forthcoming with the information.
Yeah, the atmosphere is a bit tense, isn't it?
You're going to get that
in my history, going around asking about cults gets you one of two answers. It gets you a blank stare, or it gets you stabbed.
Or get you kidnapped by the cult.
That usually is before or after the stab.
Maybe we check out to this fancy apartment for the evening, and then we head out to the woods in the morning.
Sounds good. I'm usually good at tracking things down if I can find something of someone's.
Oh, and just bit of a heads up. You are outside of town after, well, technically, you want to call it this, the sun sets. Use whatever you can to mask yourself.
Because we'll be hunted.
No, not because you'll be hunted. There are things out there worse than vampires that don't necessarily abide by our laws.
I believe it. So we need to acquire a mask, I suppose.
Hide is what I mean. Not really wear a mask, but hide your scent, pocket dimension, whatever you can to slip out.
Or maybe a fancy magical tent? Kamek?
Looks to the wizards.
Kamek.
You are of
Which, by the
the
way-
useful type, correct?
Oh,
I don't know.
very
Only one of them
useful.
has prestidigitation right now.
No, we both
And I'll
have
tell you
it
right now, I was just
No.
gonna say with our new outfits, we just prestidigitate our scent, and we're just like, we smell
I
gross.
will
Don't
say
touch us.
Yuriko does have prestidigitation as well.
Finally.
Well, it's like the year of hunting demons has expanded her knowledge somewhat of magic, so it's not the greatest, but you know, when you're covered in brimstone and ichor, it's a lot easier to clean yourself with magic than
Yep.
a lake.
I mean, I also have a good way of making people a little more sneaky. Pass without trace.
Which
Oh
is a
my
good
God,
one.
That's gonna be so good to have, especially with this group.
All need it.
I think we have ways to not only help us get by, but I have made some very interesting upgrades with the, yes, magical tent. It'll be quite interesting to see what you all see.
A magical tent.
It's been quite invaluable.
Think of it as a mini apartment. But,
That kind
it's
of
not an
magic.
apartment. Yes, but it's not an apartment anymore. It's quite bigger now. But it'll look like a tent to everyone else.
Well, as long as not everyone can just walk through the front door and attack us in our sleep, I think we're okay.
That very wide grin. It's like, oh no. If they look inside uninvited, they just see an empty tent.
Go look over at Spike. Like, sounds like you finally get to see the inside of that tent.
No.
And Spike
Oh, you
kind of
want-
looks over to Kemek. Because Kemek speaks Draconic, right?
Oh yeah, they've
Mhm.
conversed.
Look,
Kevin
you-
remembers.
You honestly expect me to just sleep out in the wild after that warning?
I'm pretty sure you're capable of defending yourself. Being a wild animal as well.
Kemek, I am anything but an animal. You yourself know
Right.
that.
Scary beast. Right. Even better, that brings you up a little further on the food chain.
I'm not a beast either. Why is our relationship so aggressive? We've only known each other for a couple days.
Yes, and every word that you've said towards me has been an insult.
As it's, I don't remember that.
There was a bit of tension between the two of you when you first met.
No, that's the past. Why
Here's the thing.
why don't we start over?
The entire party speaks Draconic, don't they?
Nope.
Nope.
Yuriko doesn't.
Yuriko is like, she just starts speaking Infernal for the fuck of it.
Dragon.
Does Mia know Draconic?
Yeah,
That-
Mia
that's the-
knows like
Oh, okay.
a dozen different languages at this point.
Same. I know like 10 or
I'm-
something. It's ridiculous.
Cass looks over. Can we just get along and survive, please.
See, this guy gets it.
Here's the thing. I am all for that. I am all about survival. The problem is, I was being slighted for saying no to a person I just met to invite freely inside my tent. Now, I don't know about you, but that is considered stranger danger.
Stranger than what?
Please, both you and I know you could have easily blasted her with a fireball. She was no stranger danger.
Yes, but that would burn the inside of my lovely home.
It's not fireproof?
That's not the point. The point is,
Shut
you
up.
have still done it.
The point is,
Spike,
shut up.
Spike will remember this. Tent
The
not
point
fireproof.
It will repair itself. The problem is, you would have damaged it in the first place before it repairs itself.
Look, I have no intention of damaging your tent or you. At the moment, we're traveling with you, which makes you a party member. Means you have my protection.
Lovely.
I'd also like to say if Spike stays outside, I'm staying with him.
Let's not start this again.
Hemmick just shrugs, like, that's fine by me. Just like shrugs.
I just thought it was rude
Oh,
of you to just assume I could make friends within 2 hours. As if we were all buddy-buddy.
I was just assuming that people would be accommodating, seeing as how we were helping find and alleviate Nalania her predicament.
Oh, I get that. But you were also telling me what to do and trying to threaten and force me to do certain things that I didn't want to do, and I don't take kindly to being forced to do things.
And I apologize for that. Sort of my upbringing.
Ah, the old ways again.
Indeed.
With my eyes, he telling the truth.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Like the old way of the dragon being, I'm a dragon, you're gonna do what I say type thing. Rar, 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 rar.
Dragons are born super genius and super jerks.
Yep.
mhm.
They're the
Like
assholes.
I'm not kidding. Like in
Their
the
ego-
ecology
their
of
ego-
dragons,
The size of their ego is only matched by the size of their horde.
Yeah.
it's just like fucking out the egg, know everything, and complete assholes.
It's why white dragons are the biggest assholes of them all.
No, white dragons are dumb.
They're dumb, but they have
To
the
be
biggest
fair-
horde.
To be fair, they're extinct.
Womp, womp, womp.
What? Amazing how those two things go hand in hand.
Darwinism
Ash.
is the finest.
Yeah.
Well. I suppose since you are being sincere, I could set that aside for now.
Look, we get enough time to know each other, you'll love me.
Doubtful, but you can certainly try.
I mean, I've already won Yuriko over.
Yes,
How
well.
did you do that exactly? I've been
Existing.
trying for a long time.
I think it's because I'm a dragon and she gave me praise. And gods, if I don't love praise.
You have to be an animal, Mia.
I could do that.
Go full bird.
Yes, make this your third character that is a full bird.
Do it!
I can shape change myself into a dragon. Would I then get a hug?
I don't know.
You're muted. Yuriko, your lips are moving, but no words come out. I didn't cast the silence spell.
Yeah, I don't speak Tronic, so that statement.
Just
Right.
because you
Languages.
look like one doesn't mean you are one.
Yeah.
True. Actually, speaking of dragons, Kel,
Yeah. I'm kind
Well,
of scared that you said speaking of dragons and then addressed me.
As you
well,
see the white scales like on his shoulders.
Yeah.
are you? I'm sorry. Do you have draconic blood in you?
Draconic blood curse, I guess you could say. My mom kind of killed all the white dragons, and it was then cursed
Right.
because of it.
Right. That's right. You told us about that when we first met. So then you're probably not actually classed as a dragon then.
Look, I'm classed as a lot of things.
Were you gonna ask for his eye? Oh my god! How dare you?
Some dragon blood, some half orc, some half Goliath, some half vampire, some half. I'm a lot of things.
Probably
That's not really
a bit
half
too
anymore.
mixed for what I need. That's unfortunate.
What do you need?
But, parts. If you're
Look.
familiar with this continent, do you happen to know if there's any, dragons residing here that I might converse with?
Would assume so. Don't know any on a personal basis. I thought you were gonna ask me to like harvest a part of me, and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna talk to Lolani on that one.
Can I have your kidney?
Wait, so if she says yes,
I'm still saying no.
okay.
I'm just
I had
saying
to ask.
she may have some choice words with you if you're like, hey, can I just harvest part of your your new husband?
Can I scavenge a piece of your meat for my experiments?
Kemek does point at the dragon they were just conversing with.
I mean, you've got two eyes. You don't need both of them. It's fine. I won't ask.
And Spike kind of looks at you. He's like, what do you need a dragon's eye for?
Oh, I am on a bit of a personal quest to, let's say, give life to a draconic creature. And one of the ingredients that I need is the eye of a dragon willingly given.
Good luck with that one.
It's not been very easy.
Look, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, I'm trying to build a human, but all I need is an eyeball, would you give it to him?
Well, it depends on what they were willing to trade.
You scare me.
It's all for the sake of
Science.
It all
okay,
sounds
she's
disturbingly like some form of necromancy.
Yeah, she has a homunculi waiting in her basement at the moment.
I'm most of the way there.
Kemek blinks. Like, oh, that was a joke.
Interesting.
I just need the eye and a soul. The soul I can get no problem. The eye is the tough part.
When the eye is the tough part, that's,
Do you need just any
'Cause-
soul?
Because the
Any
soul
soul.
doesn't have to be freely given.
no, the soul could just be taken from
It can be taken, and I have
anything.
means of doing that. But the eye has to be willingly given. Well, eye and tooth, but, what's a tooth compared to an eye? Anyway,
more
if we
favor.
come across a dragon, I would love to converse with them.
Good luck with that. Kel sort of looks over at everyone. Yeah, if nobody else needs me and doesn't need any part of my body, when are you going?
Run while you can.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, I'll catch you all later. I'll give Nalani your love.
Please do. It's too bad she couldn't come along, but I think we all understand.
She wanted to. The sound of cracking cultist skulls was a little hard to resist, but queenly duties, you know.
Maybe she can come along on the next one.
Maybe. He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out the teleportation stone to Malga. He just grips it in his hand and he just vanishes from sight.
We were outside the bar thing, right?
No,
I thought he said no magic in the bar.
this is
What
Kel.
do you
Badger.
What,
Give
are
no
you gonna
shit.
chase him or what?
I'm just now looking around and seeing if like there's gonna be someone coming to like fuck
Honestly,
with us
from where
because-
he was standing, nobody saw him teleport.
Okay, thank goodness. I was like, dude, you just told us no magic in this place, and you go
Don't
and
do
fucking
magic.
teleport out.
His
No,
whole
I'm
I-
serious. Don't do magic.
his whole idea is I didn't cast the magic. The magic was in this item. I'm not a mage.
Oh,
Right, shall we go see this fancy apartment?
Yes. Get a nice meal and a nice night's rest.
Sounds good.
And as you head out and you go to the building where the apartment is located and you unlock the door and you go in, you notice that it is a rather small studio. And it's barren.
Well, this is plenty of space for my tent.
Yeah,
This is
we've
true.
slept in worse.
The tent can be the apartment.
Yeah. I just have to have the space to put up a tent.
And there is, thankfully enough space in this empty studio to be able to put up the tent at least.
And no witnesses to see you use the magic to put up the tent.
Checks for cameras.
The vampires have cameras, you're all screwed.
Right, who has true sight? Let's look for scrying eyes.
Yeah, right.
But as you go into your empty apartment that will soon have a small campsite erected in it, we are going to go ahead and call it here for tonight.
Not gonna lie, sad. I didn't get to use any spells.
Look, this is just the introduction to the new area. Don't worry. As everything goes on, you will most definitely have many opportunities to use your new spells.
many opportunities to burn down taverns.
We haven't burned down a tavern yet.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, this campaign has not burned it down yet. It's impressive. Tricord Isles, you've burnt down 2 cities. I mean,
Yeah. It's like, even in my campaign, building got burned down.
yeah. It's this entire role play group. It's like for some reason, pyromania is just abound. Anyway, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in as we start Act 2 of Campaign 3 of Destiny Forged. This is our longest running show here on the channel. You can find us here every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. On alternating Tuesdays, which I don't know, is it this week as well, or?
It is tomorrow, correct,
Yes.
sir.
So tomorrow will be another episode of Tales of the Outer Rim, which is our Star Wars campaign that is run by Tiltbot. On this upcoming Thursday will be another episode of Mass Effect Horizons, which is a 5th edition Mass Effect mod run by Zorro, with alternating Thursdays being Tricorn Isles, which is a 5th edition IAC's adventure game that I run. On this upcoming Saturday is the first episode of Withered Wastes: The Southern Frontier, which is a 5th edition campaign that we started up with a first premise of it, and it kind of got away from me. So we're doing a new story in the southern continent of the Isle to spring a little bit of life back into the whole thing. And then on the alternating Saturdays, we have Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder 2 Extinction Curse campaign run by Azarin. And then on the final Saturday of every month, which is going to be the 30th this month, as I block Chemic's screen with my calendar, it will is another episode of Would Be Heroes, which is a modified Kids on Bikes campaign that we have just started kicking off, and we are going to be going into episode 4. And things are going to finally start picking up on the superhero end of things here, as unfortunately doing a once a month show, things are a slow start, but we're going to start getting into more action now.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back here on Monday for another episode of Destiny Forged. But until then, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for some Star Wars.